Coyote Stole the Summer, adapted by Stephen Krinsky, illustrated by Kelly Durb. Back at the beginning of time, Old Man Coyote was cold all the time. One morning, he woke up to find himself covered in a fresh blanket of snow. As he shook it off, he thought he heard some ice crackling above him. He looked up. He saw that a raven was laughing at him. "Why are you laughing at me?" said Coyote. "Every time I see you, you are laughing at me." "That is because you are so funny," said Raven. "Here you are suffering in the cold when you could be nice and warm." "I could?" asked Coyote. "Listen closely. Far from here is a teepee where an old woman and her children live. Inside her teepee, old woman keeps a special gift in a black bag. The gift is called summer. She will not share it with anyone. But if you could get this summer, you could be warm at last." Coyote was suspicious. "In that case, why haven't you gotten summer for yourself?" he asked. "Ah," said Raven, "I wish I could, but this old woman is powerful. A bird like me will have no chance against her." "But I am only a single animal," said Coyote. "Why are my chances any better?" "You must not do it alone," said Raven. "You must take 5 other animals to go with you: a stag, an antelope, a wolf, a moose, and an elk." Be a chance for him to be nice and warm. That was a chance worth taking. Coyote went to see the other animals Raven had mentioned. They too were just as cold as he was. Coyote told them about what Raven had said. They too were a little suspicious. But the idea of being nice and warm was just too tempting to resist, so they agreed to help. "Raven and I have a plan," said Coyote. Then he explained to everyone what they would need to do. Coyote and Wolf crept up to a hill and looked carefully over the top. There they saw an old woman and her children. "It is time," whispered Coyote. Wolf stepped out into the clearing. Then he began to howl. "Ow!" "What was that noise?" "It's a wolf," said one of the children. "We must catch him," said the second. "And cook him," said a third. "And eat him," said a fourth. Then they began to chase after a wolf, who ran away as fast as he could. Coyote smiled. With the children gone, there was no one to stop him from stealing the bag. He crept up to the flap of a teepee. There he saw an old woman who was busy making moccasins and humming to herself. Suddenly she stopped. "Who's there?" she asked. In a flash, Coyote leapt forward and smeared Raven's medicine on her lips. She cried out, but no words escaped her mouth. The medicine had magically removed her voice. Coyote looked around. He saw that the black bag was lying on the ground. He grabbed it and quickly darted out of the tent. Old woman still could not speak, but she rushed outside and put a pine branch over her fire. It sent a great plume of smoke into the air. Old woman's children saw the smoke from a distance. They knew at once that something was wrong. They stopped chasing Wolf and hurried home. They got there just in time to see Coyote running away with the bag. Their mother was jumping up and down. She didn't need to say a word. Her children could see what had happened. "Stop, thief!" and then began to chase after Wolf, who ran away as fast as he could. Coyote was fast, but every time he looked back, old woman's children were getting closer and closer. Over the next hill, he reached the place where Moose was waiting. Moose trotted off on her fresh legs. Moose ran through the bush. The bushes did not bother her, but they slowed down old woman's children for a while. Then they began to catch up. They were almost on Moose when she reached the place where Stag was waiting. Stag grabbed the bag and ran off. They slowly gained on Stag. Stag reached Elk and passed the bag off to her. Elk was faster than Stag. When Elk got tired, he met up with Antelope, who was the fastest of all. Antelope bounded off. The sight of Antelope was a blow to old woman's children. They had run as far as their legs and hearts could carry them. They hated to admit defeat, but Antelope pulled farther and farther away. Finally, the children came to a stop. Antelope saw that the children had stopped following her, so she made her way back to Coyote's village. There she waited for the other animals to arrive. Coyote was the last to get back. The others gave him the honor of opening the bag. "Let's see what all this trouble has gotten us," said Coyote. As she opened the bag, Summer jumped out like a great gust of wind. But they were forgetting one thing. With Summer breaking out, it wasn't hard for Old Woman's children to track them down, and they appeared quickly. "You are the thief!" Old Woman shouted at Coyote. "You and your friends have stolen Summer from our mother. You need to give it back," said her children. "I will not," said Coyote. "If you do not, we will make up war upon you," said her children. Coyote wanted to be warm, but he did not want to have a war. "I have an idea," he said. "Why don't we share Summer equally between us? You can have it for half of the year, and we will have it for the other." Old Woman and her children were still angry, but they knew that war would bring them no good. "That is fair," they said finally, and they had lived happily ever after.